Good morning. Good morning. Or I'm sorry, afternoon. We don't do this. This is not the morning. Well, it feels weird saying good afternoon. Good afternoon, baby. You ready to dance?
Anyway.
What's up? We're here for our Friday afternoon show. We have the movie later at 5 p.m. Central. We're going to do For Your Consideration. It's a Christopher Guest movie. It's mostly improv, and it's some people wanted a comedy this time around, so we thought we'd do something light, and that's one of my favorite comedies. So if you want to join us for that, it's going to be on our Discord. Just email me for the link. Other than that, what's going on?
I've got a bit of a head cold today, and so I've been taking Dayquil and Lindsay. And I honestly, like, my day is really just more or less just started. I got up once today to take care of the baby and stuff like that. And she went out for a nap, and so did I. So whenever me and her both got up and got ready for the stream. That's pretty much it. We've had a pretty. I can't believe it's Friday already, though, man. I cannot believe it's that late in the week already.
Oh, and I just remembered I put this stream on Twitter and Facebook today, so I need to remember to pay attention.
Okay.
In case people happen to be interacting there, which they never do, but I just got to remember to look at it. I think that's why I quit doing it, because it was a pain to check.
Oh, right. I guess there isn't any way to flow all the interactive stuff into one thing, huh?
Yeah.
Because some destinations won't get comments, so, huh? So they can read them. They can read
people
them.
Can comment on Twitter or Facebook the same like they can comment on YouTube, but it doesn't feed the comments to StreamYard yet.
Huh? Yeah, I see that. I wouldn't see. I've never even heard of Hop In before. I've never heard of that before in my life.
Of what?
I gotta look at the chat platform support. Like, there's one called Hop In.
Oh, no,
I've never heard of that before in my life. I didn't even know that existed. Like, I'd be less. Hank said test. Yeah, he's still on YouTube though. So.
Oh.
Apparently, Hop In is kind of like Zoom. It's like a video teleconferencing.
Oh, Hop In. Yeah, I haven't heard of it either, but I did see it on the list.
Huh. I mean, apparently it says that it's valued at $3.85 billion as a company. So I guess it's not. It's kind of crazy how there's a company that's worth that much. I mean, I keep up with tech stuff pretty well. I've never even heard of it before, but
that means nothing to me.
Yeah,
at all. Yeah, I'm really focusing on YouTube right now, just so we can get our content up, and then once we have some quality content, and we need to get our viewers up if we want to monetize it all, because we have to have at least 1,000. And I want it to be organic. I don't want like hundreds of people showing up all at once because they saw us on some platform. I'd rather it just gradually grow with people who are interested, that just kind of find us.
Okay.
I can post the streams to my Twitter.
The YouTube chat, yeah, YouTube does, but Twitter and Facebook doesn't. It would be great to have all three platforms streaming into the same comment section, but not yet.
Yeah, we know the YouTube chat hooks in a StreamYard fine, Hank. Yeah, I use it all the time on here. But we're talking about the other ones like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. They don't really yet. We're thinking about trying to have this to Rumble too, and that's our
it's a StreamYard thing. They have to develop the technology to incorporate the comments from different platforms, and I don't know if that means making arrangements with them, or I don't know how tech works.
I don't either. I am not a.
For whatever reason, they haven't developed the capacity yet.
Yeah.
I'm good at figuring out tech and using it, but I don't have the slightest idea how programming really works. I learned some programming when I was younger and I hated it, and so I stopped doing
I have some friends that program them. I can ask.
Anyway, let's see. Let's try to think if I saw anything like news wise today or anything, but
I have a few tweets, but there's this one in particular. Well, two in particular, but it's from the same person. I'll share it. Hang on. She says Israel is either A, the most diverse ethno-state ever, with over 20% Arabic citizens, or not an ethno-state at all. And then she has another tweet, which is a list of words that the left has attempted to redefine since this conflict started. Genocide is warning civilians to leave active combat zones in order to ensure their safety. Occupation is creating borders between you and people who want to kill you. Nazi is believing that Jews have the right to self-defense and safety. Zionist is a synonym for Nazi. Ethno-state is a racially and religiously diverse country. Apartheid is giving all your citizens equal treatment under the law. I'm still waiting on Rowan's. He's going to send me the laws, the apartheid laws. Freedom fighter is an Islamic jihadist calling for the death of all Jews. Settler colonizer is immigrating to escape oppression. Fascism is a liberal parliamentary republic, not an Islamic theocratic dictatorship. And I've experienced every one of these the last few weeks in these discussions.
Yep.
And this is an example of just this conflict. They did the same thing with man, woman, systemic racism, violence, harm, like the definitions of words. They say the culture wars are language wars, and they're just very blatant in their attempts to re-engineer language. But that's not how language works.
No, I mean, it works that way as much as they get away with it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know about Pigeon. I don't know what that is.
Lindsay knows all about Pigeon. She used to use it all the time for.
It's a peer-to-peer encrypted chat protocol.
You already lost me. It's
IPv6.
My brain was dead. If it's not automated through StreamYard, it's probably not something I'm going to do. Because Joshua keeps telling me to get that, like the website
Pigeon
file AI thing or something, and then other people tell me to get an API key to get the AI to make our chapter stops on YouTube, and we have to do the RPMT thing to stream all that stuff. My brain just goes into shutdown mode.
Yeah, there's some of those things that I can do, and some of those things that I'm going to have to find other people that want to help us do them, because there's. I mean, I don't know if I can teach myself that many new tricks or not. I don't know. I'm usually pretty good at learning technology, but I'm not very good. I'm not. Back in the day, I used to figure out all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I figured out at one point I figured out I figured out how to get free cell phone service for a while through legal means, just by bouncing the signal through enough things, and like I used to do all sorts of like crazy stuff like that. But I just I mean, it doesn't stuff that wouldn't work anymore. Just like all the technology has changed so much. But I haven't done anything like that in ages, and I hate it.
It doesn't interest me enough.
Where are you gonna go?
I can learn anything I'm interested in, but I have to be interested in it.
Oh yeah, that's ADHD for you. Well, you can come on, Hank. Come on. I started watching a couple of news type things this morning, but like not it was just people talking about Trump and stuff. So
it looks like a yellow day today.
Yeah, you look like the guy from Curious George, man.
Oh.
No, his hat's bigger than mine.
What's that?
His hat is bigger than my hat.
Oh, I suppose that's true. But still, you
What?
got the man in yellow thing going on. Or are you the Yellow King from True Detective kind of thing? Is that what you're going
Negative.
for? All right.
What's new?
I'll tell you about SM. Well, those letters. Those letters are just a media transfer protocol. That's what you would do if you wanted to stream to multiple websites at the same time, like Odyssey and YouTube at the same time. But there's services you can buy to do that automatically, or you just run a server yourself on a pretty much just a web server. And it will restream. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to like manually configure it or something to stream to Rumble.
Yes, pretty much. You have like a server taking your streams from wherever you start them from. Which will be StreamYard, and just send them, and it will relay the streams to multiple sites at the same time. You can build it or you can buy it.
Yeah, there's literally a program called Restream I've seen that does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know Odyssey. I know that I know it exists, but I've never.
Yeah, I think that was what that was going to be like. That's what started out. People start out using instead of Rumble, and it seems like Rumble's just becoming more popular. But that was the YouTube alternative that everybody that was worried about being canceled was migrating to.
Yeah, both of them are unpopular. I wouldn't worry about streaming to both. I wouldn't worry about streaming on one side at a time. Just make sure you archive eventually to more than one site, because streaming to more than one site's complicated and uses a bunch of bandwidth.
Oh,
And-
really? Well, they say it goes through Stream, like it runs through StreamYard's servers or whatever, so it doesn't use your bandwidth.
Oh, okay. Then probably doesn't matter.
Because right now I'm streaming to Twitter and Facebook. But if we figure out how to stream to Rumble, I don't mind trying Rumble out.
Do you have a Rumble account?
I don't know if I do or not.
Yeah,
I think I made one for the Crucible. They started doing a lot of stuff on Rumble.
Probably, yeah. You probably need a Rumble account.
Yeah, apparently I do have a Rumble account.
Yeah, you or Chris. Then you just get the string, the
Gen X Jeff on Rumble.
Yeah. So what you do is get that string that says stream from StreamYard and dump it in Rumble, and it should probably just work.
I wonder what their monetization requirements are, because YouTube is 1,000 viewers, but Rumble took me to a page with all kind of monetization options.
I know there's monetization apps. I know. I remember. I know it's. Let me check JFG's stream real quick because he has something.
Because right now, the most we could do is start a Patreon in case somebody wanted to like tip us or anything.
Well, you can do a Patreon, you can do a PayPal, you can do what else you can do? Venmo and Cash App. I'm not a fan of Cash App at all, but we can do that.
Yeah, you know, the first time I've ever gone to Odyssey is just now, and like I gotta say, it's like their format, their layout isn't too bad. It's not too bad. Most of the time I check out these alternate platforms, that they look really like, you know, they're kind of janky and they don't work that well. But this looks all right, actually. It's pretty, and like there's quite a bit of content, like at least on the front page. It looks like it's mostly stuff that's being simulcast from YouTube, but still it's like a lot of YouTubers I recognize.
Yes, like Rossman, yeah, Lewis Rossman, Six Hexenhammersaurus. I'll how would it call it? Co-host on Odyssey. In fact, Odyssey can automatically replicate your YouTube channel.
Are do they do live stuff though? I'm not really seeing.
Yeah, you can do live stuff.
Okay.
It's a little more janky. It's more janky than YouTube, but so is pretty much any other site. Even Twitch is more janky than YouTube. So
I didn't realize it was created by I used to work for Library. God, I didn't know it was the same people.
Yeah, it's the same people.
Yeah, I used to work for library. I used to run their Twitter account.
Oh, okay. Well, well, if you need special help or favor something, you probably know where to get it from.
No, they fired me. So I mean, they fired me whenever like they almost, because I thought they almost went, almost everybody at the company got fired because they got bought by somebody else, and they got bought, and so some other company I guess must have started the Odyssey thing or something.
Well, it was
Odyssey
a
thing.
down. If it was a downsizement, you make and when you reach out to you, probably you wouldn't know. But
All I'm
Oh,
just saying,
wow.
I don't know anyone that works there anymore. So
yeah, you wouldn't know anyone that works there because it was a downsizement. But they're still doing stuff. So
There
something.
is no viewer requirement on Rumble. You can monetize right away.
Okay, that's good.
So we could. I think it's worth figuring out how to stream to Rumble and creating a channel there and just testing it, like trying to get on their live page.
yeah, I mean, like really, and like from what I can tell, the RTMP like the protocol thing, it shouldn't really be all that difficult to do. Really, I think we should be able to figure it out pretty easily. We could just add it to
Okay,
the.
well
streamer.
let's make that our next project because that'll give us one more option to play in.
I'll see if I can. I'll just find the RTMP settings and everything. I'll send them to you because like you'll have to do it from your side. You're the one with in control of the StreamYard, but I'll give you I'll find it and send it to you, and you can just like plug it in.
Okay.
So you can also use Entropy Stream to monetize immediately as well. They don't have any requirements to just be streaming of monetization.
Who is Jean-François Gariepi? That sounds familiar.
Oh, he's a biologist. He moved
Oh, he's
Odyssey
Canadian.
Rumble, but he was a biologist. He started as a co-host of Drunken Peasants. Then he started his own show, and he done a whole bunch of debates. But he wrote Revolutionary Phenotype.
When I think about like YouTube alternatives, what I tend to think of it as Daily Motion. I went there to see if they got any better, and it still looks just as janky as it ever did.
But
Daily Motion still looks like. What's that?
Yeah, he's in the same culture war stuff you are into, Jeff. So.
I just look like Daily Motion's working a lot better than it used to. Like whenever it's a setup kind of similar to like how Twitter or Facebook works. Whenever you hover over like a certain thing, like if the video starts playing, automatically. I mean, I guess it's not like it used to be. Like I remember trying to use Daily Motion and having like the hardest time even getting a video to play. But it looks like it's gotten better. But yeah.
Either they got better, or your client got better, or the service got better.
Yeah, something did, but anyway, but their homepage still looks janky as hell, though.
So yeah, you can monetize an Entropy immediately as soon as you make an account. Looks like
Entropy and what else? What's the other one?
Rumble, like you just said.
Entropy and Rumble. Okay.
Yeah, so you can monetize immediately.
Well, maybe this weekend our project could be to figure out RMTP.
Yeah.
And then we can. And
How
this
do you
is
spell
because we have
Entropy?
to create a channel on Rumble, so this is a chance to like update our branding too. We get a cover photo, a logo, a name, description, all that.
Your safe haven for monetization, I think. It's like they're
For what? For who? Oh, for
Entropy says your
that's
safe
me
haven for
for-
monetization. Like they're the biggest, but the biggest sites the biggest people on Entropy are like Owen Benjamin and Nick Fuentes.
Oh my God, are you kidding? I'm not going on there. Let's just do Rumble.
Okay.
We have enough trolls just on YouTube.
Oh my God! All right,
In fact, a lot of the YouTube streamer they come from Owen Benjamin's cult. They're like members that have escaped his cult.
and he was
Because
just like a
truthers,
stand-up.
like there's something called truthers.
Yeah,
And there's some flat
they were
earthers.
just a freaking like he was just like a stand-up comedian like way back when, but
Well, he turned into this conspiracy theory cultist.
yeah, I know.
Isn't
Well,
Owen Benjamin and Nick Francis also on Rumble?
they might
Yeah,
be.
but
I
they're
don't know.
not like the dominant.
Yeah, they're like
figure.
when it has like the top two like people on Entropy though, it's like well, it's not the top two. The first one is Owen Benjamin, and there's two other people, and then there's Nick Fuentes like the in the top four. But I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind being on the same platform with them. It doesn't bother me. Like they're probably also on YouTube and stuff too. It doesn't really matter. But I just thought it was funny. I just wasn't what I expected to see. That's all. Hey there, kiddo. Hi. You want to say hi? Say hi to Hank. Say hi to Hank. Hi, Hank.
You think she knows us as individuals, or are we just blobs on the screen?
No, she knows. She knows her people. She knows the difference between mom and daddy. I'm sure she knows the difference between different people. She may not know your names yet.
Juniper. Oh, look at you. Her arms go so fast.
They don't have very far to go.
Yeah, they're very small arms still. We're very small still. So it's funny because like, you see her up close. I hold her like that. Then you see her like up next to me. You see how tiny she still really is. You know, she's very small. She was born. She was only 4 pounds whenever she was born. Poor thing. Only 4 pounds and 9 ounces, huh? Not even a 5-pound sack of potatoes. And now she's a 20-pound sack of potatoes.
20 pounds.
It's quadrupled in size in 10 months. Or at least in weight. Maybe not in size, but weight. Oh. Okay. Okay, like, you want to get your bouncer? I'll put her in her bouncer.
Did it help?
Have you been going on any streams?
Me, yes. I was on Jack Talkout yesterday. I may go on Pawn Safe's stream if this stands before his does. I was on Machine Lies on Wednesday.
I think I saw.
Yeah,
I
you
think I
saw
saw
me
some of
there.
that one. That's the one where Tommy was screaming for 3 hours.
Was he screaming for 2 hours? He was screaming a bit. Imagine for 3 hours.
Tommy and Punjabi.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yes. I think I was on Brenton's stream with Tommy. I think on Tuesday, maybe that morning, probably Wednesday morning.
I wonder if these people ever sleep. Every time I turn on the stream, there's like the same 5 or 6 people on it 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and I think I was on Flow State, I think, as well. So I've been on quite a bit.
Well, if dude's really on meth, then I guess that's why. I mean, yeah.
Well, they were talking today on one of the streams. They were talking about I keep meth hours or meth time or something.
Oh my!
So it's not even just my impression.
No, I'm not even considered frequent because I have a job. I can't stay online the whole time.
Yeah. Even with the job, you're on an oppressive amount of time. I would do a 24-hour stream if I could. Like, in fact, I will if I ever get enough people. I want to help keep it going.
I will not do that. If I somehow end up with 24-hour stream, I'm tricking you. It's gonna be reruns, or I'm doing something weird. Because I'm totally not gonna be available for 24 hours. So I promise there's gonna be some kind of angle that makes it so I'm only on for 8-hour stops.
Be a cardboard cutout with a
stream that's always open. I wonder if you could hook it to a Discord channel.
Oh yeah, of course.
And just have it streaming for 24 hours, and people could drop in and chat whenever they wanted.
Oh, absolutely. That's actually pretty easy to do. So the Scholar Fiction streams and to StreamYard and you have streams Discord. So what you do is you use OBS and do a screen recording with some audio plumbing on your Discord. Then you have your camera in there, and just integrate that together and send it to StreamYard to restream out from StreamYard to everything else. So that's not that.
But
that's
then you
not
run
that big
into
of a
like
setup.
11-hour StreamYard limit too. You'd have to keep resetting it.
Yeah, unless you buy StreamYard Premium.
But still, it's something to shoot for.
11 hours is absurd. So, but if you want to do 24 hours, it's on you.
Yeah, well, I don't want to stream 24 hours, but I want to have the option for people to stream 24 hours. I want to have one open for 24 hours.
And I want a robot to go ahead and crunch the stream and give me the important info in text so I can
They
query
have
it.
those. They have the AIs that do that. You have to have an API key, and I don't know what that is.
I do know what it is, but then you have to buy the processing unless you build your own.
Oh, it costs money. They didn't tell me that.
It costs a lot of money unless you
Oh.
use one of the open libraries to do it and just spend the processing power. But it's processing. It's actually not that expensive processing wise. But if you want to
Well, maybe if we ever
private
get
service
a
costs a whole
budget,
lot of money.
that'll be something to consider. Because if we can automate some of this stuff with AI, that'll allow us to give a better product.
I mean, at least until the robots, take over and steal our skin. And
I ain't worried about. I'm more worried about the conspiracists and the trolls than I am the robots.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
Yeah, pretty much. If it looks like it's an AI takeover, it's trolls. I promise you that.
No, I get that.
I can guarantee that if it looks like an AI takeover, it's definitely trolls doing that.
I completely agree. I just like to make I just make jokes about it because there's so many people that are actually paranoid about that actually think that by using AI anything that you're just Jack just messaged me and said to tell you, Hank, that he wants to invite you to his Discord. So whatever.
Which Jack?
NeuroJack.
NeuroJack, sure.
NeuroJack Talcott.
Is he in your Discord, Jeff? I'll just check myself.
I think he's in the men's one. Yeah.
He's in the new one too, the Center Holds one. He posted there yesterday in the general. You just add him. You can add him to your list on there. I think he's under TRES. Tress.
Yes. I'll probably send him a friend request right now.
You want me to hook y'all up? I have both you on my friends list.
Sure.
Okay, let me just figure out how to do it. I'm just gonna leave. Oh, he's not even online right.
He's driving right now. He's I think he just has it. I think he just has it set off, it set offline. But he was messaging me, so
I'll send him a message too. Then I'll send a friend request.
He's always driving. Is he an Uber driver? Does he work on the road?
I wonder. I don't know. I no one's ever. He said thanks. So.
He's either always driving or at the beach.
I used to be a Lyft driver when I had a car I could do it with, and the barely working van we have right now would not stand. They would not let you drive Uber or Lyft with it. At this point, whenever it rains, the windows all roll down for some reason. I have no idea how that happens.
That sounds weird.
Only when it rains, though.
Yeah.
Only when it rains does the
And then the driver's side, like the sliding door on the driver's side stopped opening from the outside. And now if I roll up my window on the driver's side and I don't stop it right before it gets to the very top of the thing, it'll roll right back down. And it's turning into like that old like joke, like they used to, like my grandmother she used to have like this little like poster of like about this thing about like a dog that was like blind and deaf and missing three legs and all the stuff that in answer to Lucky. That's how my van is starting to get to the point of it's just. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. It's amazing. It drives at all, but like half the time when you start it, it erases all of the radio station presets.
It's like, yeah.
So you have to turn the car back off, turn it back on, because it'll just like give you static no matter what until like you get it to reinitialize the radio, and then you have to go find all your radio presets again. Yeah, it's fun.
It's haunted.
It's like it's possessed by an old cranky.
I mean, we got it as a donation from the church. So.
Yeah, it was donated to us, so. So we take it all in good humor. We don't really get too upset about it, but it's kind of hilarious how broken that van is, though. It feels like the van feels like it's a meme or something. It doesn't feel
That's your normal vehicle?
That's the only vehicle we have. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
What kind of church do you go to? I go to a Unitarian Universalist church.
My parents' church donated it to us. It was like someone at their church like offered it to them, and then my parents were like, "Oh, my son needs it because our car was our cars both got wrecked. We used to have two Priuses, and they both got wrecked in the same week. So
damn.
Yeah. So we didn't have any vehicle or anything. We went without a vehicle for about a year, and we just got around by occasionally having to get like a Lyft or an Uber somewhere if we had to get somewhere, and then otherwise like we don't live too far from a Walmart and stuff like that, so we walked a lot of places, stuff like that. So we're thankful for having the vehicle at all. It's not like we're not really complaining about it. I just think it's funny how absurdly broken it is. Like every time a new quirk pops up, it's just like seriously this now. Like you can still open the sliding door on the driver's side, but you have to do it from inside the car. You have to like reach your arm in and like grab the thing and open it. But
we had to move Juniper's chair to the other side so we could get her in and out.
It's all right. It starts up when I put the key in and turn it, and
it rolls.
And it rolls around and stuff until a tire busts or something, and you gotta get another used one. So
yeah, I'll be too annoyed to deal with all of that.
You'd be surprised, but like I mean, yeah, I would have said the same thing like a while back. I mean, I've kind of been poor most of my life anyway, but the level of poor we've been humbled to, I guess, these last couple of years, that certainly has been a new experience. But I don't know. As long as I can keep a roof over our heads and keep us all alive and fed, I'm happy for the moment. I'm trying to make it better as I can, but you only do so much.
Oh. You have a happy fed baby.
Yep, have a happy baby who's bouncing in her bouncer right now. You'll hear a bunch of rattling noises. That's what you're hearing. She jumped hard in that thing.
How do you cancel the echo?
You hear an echo?
No, there is no echo. How do you cancel the echo?
Me? Or Chris?
No, Chris does not have an echo. I'm wondering why. Because everyone can hear us in the room.
Oh, I don't know. The streaming camera I'm using it has good echo cancellation on it, I guess. I don't know. I had to fix some settings on it. I reinstalled the drivers and stuff like that. When I first started streaming, I was just using the headphones, but I couldn't make it because it was causing a bad echo. And after I tried it, and whenever we went to my parents' house a couple of weeks, like last week or whatever that was, 2 weeks ago or however long ago it was, I did it there and it worked fine. And so when I got back here, I updated the drivers and everything on it and updated the firmware, and it seemed like, I don't know, I guess that fixed it. So it works now for that. So haven't had an issue with it since.
Interesting.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of things about technology that I never actually figure out how I fix them, but I have a tendency to fix them sometimes. I can run the restroom. I'll be right back.
That's with everyone. That's with everyone.
Damn, my speakers went out.
But yeah, I can keep everyone.
I'm
entertained.
offline for a sec.
Yeah.
Until they come back on.
Yeah, but that's with all technology. Technology's gone so complicated, no one person can possibly understand all of it. In fact, no small team can possibly understand all of it. In fact, just even a single application, it's going to be millions of source code files if it's a well-used application, like a Linux kernel. Do you have your speakers back, Jeff?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm looking at Twitter to see if there's any topics. Oh, there's this little cool video I wanted to show. Hang on.
Go ahead.
Guess it's the future coming. Here go your beers, sir. As if people's skills are not already bad enough. Now you're not gonna have to talk to anybody.
What was that?
Oh, I played some video.
I know. Well, I saw just the very tail end of it. It looked like somebody was flying a drone near some beer kegs or something.
Yeah, play it again. Play it again. Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Oh wait, that's hang on. Wrong video. Look, Juniper.
Yeah, play it again. Too meta now. The other one. Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Oh, wait,
look, it's an endless.
It's way too meta.
Infinity mirror.
Too meta now. The other one. Roll the clip.
He kind of jumped. I wonder if he knew it was coming. Like, was he prepared for it?
Yes.
Infinity mirror.
Let's see if I have anything else.
I know.
I wonder if he knew it was coming. Like, was he prepared? No, all my other videos are Palestine supporters beating up on Jews.
Okay.
Oh, remind me when you get off stream so I can apply for Owl.
Okay. You can do it on your phone if you want.
My phone's charging.
It's charged.
Oh, okay.
What you got there? Get the mirror?
It's my mirror. I was letting her play with it so she could see herself.
Hey there. Hey there. Wow.
Did you hear that, Jeff? I'm going to apply for Meow.
Oh, you're gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm going to see
Oh
if.
my god! Wow. So
that'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
I think I have the credentials that they'd actually like.
It's like, I mean, yeah. If she could actually get a job in like doing like the art design part of it, where she wouldn't actually have to be like work a shift there or anything, she should be okay.
She'd actually like be building the stuff.
And that's if she'd have to get a job like
man.
that. I don't think she wouldn't be able to do shift work for some reason, that just because of everything. But yeah, I think she'd be fine as long as she could get something that was like non-shift related.
That would be so exciting.
There's another one.
Even if you get an interview, just to sit and talk.
One opening in Houston too, so they might be calling for artists. I don't know. we'd be willing to
They're
like.
they're open meow in Houston.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't know if we'd be that'd be worth moving for, but
Yeah, it would be worth moving for if that was something that I haven't been to Houston since I was like a teenager. Last time I was in Houston was a real shithole. But I've heard that it's gotten a lot better despite a lot of the flooding and everything from the last few years. I've heard it's actually come a long way culturally as a town. But
was it last year the zoo flooded and all the animals got out?
I don't know about that. I mean, it was like years back whenever there was the big flooding down there. That whenever like
they had like the crocodiles from the zoo like out in the street.
I didn't hear about that. But
I was like, holy shit!
I think that might have been way back. Like the flooding that happened like 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Texas has a few. I mean, I've been in Austin a long time, but I mean, Dallas is really pretty all right for the most part. It's not as long as you have, you don't need like a lot of money. It's not like a town you need to be super rich to live in, but it's not a town to be super poor in either in a lot of ways. But like Austin's is a pretty cool city. But
I love that.
But Austin is also very
Austin's way too woke. I lived there in 91, 92, and it was woke even then.
Yeah, but they have a lot of money flowing around, so.
They also have a lot of homeless people now. They've also turned into like another.
They had homeless people then. That's when I learned. That was really my first time with that much homeless people, and that's when I learned to ignore them because they would sit on the sidewalk, like the main drag, and you would and they'd sit with their legs out against the buildings, and you'd have to walk over their legs, for like half a mile just to get to go anywhere. And if you stopped and talked to every one of them, you'd never get to where you're going. So you just have to learn to step over the homeless people.
Yep. Well, they do that. They stopped that downtown after a while. That they used to let them do that in like down in Deep Ellum back whenever I was like in my 20s. It's why I stopped coming to Dallas for a long time. Of course, then I also lived other places in the country too. But like when I was a teenager, I was like 16, 17. We used to come to Deep Ellum for shows all the time. And it was really pretty safe and clean. And then the homeless population got really out of control, and so everyone kind of stopped going. But then by the time we moved back here, they kind of cleaned it up again. They put out like a no panhandling law, which it's just like, I mean, the thing about it, it's not that it's like some people are really really against it. They say like, oh, it just keeps you from helping poor people, but really it gives you a legal reason to not encourage panhandling, because like if they don't have that there, then people will like do it out of guilt. And if you take away that thing, you're like, no, it's illegal to panhandle. Stop asking me. Then like, and they usually will like back off. I don't even think it's illegal for them to ask you for the money, but it's illegal for you to give it to them. So they put the burden. They put the burden on the. It was kind of a shrewd thing they did like that, because they put the burden on the people that were actually feeding the problem instead of the burden on the homeless people itself. But like, so a lot of places, like, we still have like, you'll see a few homeless people that like panhandle on like the sides of the road and stuff like that at some intersections and stuff, but it's not nearly as bad. During COVID, it got pretty sad. There was a lot of people like there were tent cities under the bridges and stuff like that. And I don't know if like those people, if the city has gone out of their way to help them and stuff like that, but they're gone. The tent cities have disappeared, and like I know Dallas does have a lot of really good programs for homeless people and for poor people in general. Like there's food banks everywhere that'll give people food. Like we've gone to the food banks before whenever our food stamps get like we've had problems with food stamp stuff. And
again,
it's a pretty all right city in terms of like the way it treats people, I think.
One more try. They go out again. I'm switching headphones.
Yeah, I heard San Antonio was good. But
my speakers keep going out.
I haven't been to San Antonio since I was a child, so I don't know. I can't remember.
Wait, what? Hang on. Jim Bob, you were on Jim Bob's show? Jim Bob's always spurging out over somebody.
Who?
Jim Bob.
I wasn't on his panel. If I was on Jim Bob's show, it means he was streaming.
He's like Andrew Wilson light. Oh, okay. Can we share here? Let's watch some of it.
Yeah, let's just watch that.
Hang on. Let me get my.
He was walking around with his little shovel, looking for the next neighboring farmer who happened to have gotten a horse with a plow that was metal. And he said, "You, sir, I'm so disappointed in you. Hey, Elmer, I'm disappointed in you, sir. You say you're a farmer. You say that you're all for like the land and being one with the land and figuring out the.
Oh, is he?
Sir, you abandoned those mules?
He must not agree with TCP.
I'm going to do a YouTube video about this. I'm going to skip along to the modern era technology and make a video about how this person is adopting advanced technology, sir.
Ridiculous videos. It's not just Jim Bob. I mean, David Arhan has this problem as well, where he used to go on Twitter and like attack anybody who said anything positive about Luddism or something like that.
He must be
Luddism is just not workable. You're just some crazy LARPer.
This
is a point that came out also.
Wait, so this is a defense of Luddism on YouTube?
So if we talk about
Jim Bob,
maybe he'll react to it.
Where's the threshold of the Luddite examining his own system? This is just like the
a Luddite's someone who doesn't use the ad block.
I'm supposed to pause it every now and then, so it's not copyright. Maybe if we trash Jim Bob, he'll feature us on his show. He'll do a
I'm totally gonna trash Jim Bob. Pretty much,
say something bad about him. Do you know
ad block on their web browser? That's a Luddite.
Hang on, real quick. Let me figure out how to do this. Do you know anything bad to say about him?
Yes. So by my standards, a Luddite is anyone who doesn't use an ad blocker on the web browser.
Give him more than that to go on so he can pick up on the.
No, I won't give him any more. Not yet.
That's all you have to say? I don't think that's going to get us on his show.
Yeah, play more clip.
Okay. Well, so much for that. Hang on. I don't have anything bad to say about him either. I think his philosophy is a little wanting, but I feel that way about Andrew too. But the parts that he is right about, or that he does bother to think through rigorously, I agree with him on. And the parts where he's sloppy about his thinking, he either starts with suppositions that you can't really demonstrate, or he reaches conclusions that don't follow from the logic itself. But outside of that, I don't really have anything bad to say about him either. I wish I did, because then we can get on the show. What other streamers do reaction videos? I can usually get reactions out of people.
Why do you want to get on the show so much?
Because he has a big audience.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was some other reason.
12,000.
I sent a couple of emails out to a couple of different YouTubers last night that I can find contact information for. See what they say back.
Because that was part of our strategy, was to start interacting with larger streams, and this would be one way to do it.
No, yeah, I know. I sent some emails out to I sent one out to Aiden Paladin. Like I mentioned her. I'd like to talk to her about her video about on conspiracy theories, because she has a really good video about why people believe in conspiracy theories. And I think
is she pro conspiracy?
She's a honey badger. She's anti-conspiracy theory. She's pro man. She's a honey badger.
She's a honey badger?
Yeah, she's on honey badger. She was on Honey Badger Radio pretty consistently when I was listening to them. So
she's been on Stitch and Adam before too.
Yeah, but she was Honey Badger Radio panelist for years.
I don't mind honey badgers at all.
But she's very data driven, and she did this great 2.5 hour breakdown of the reason of who believes in conspiracy theories more, either right or left. and like and if it's and kind of shows like that by the data how like both sides believe in them pretty much equally and the reasons why behind it and stuff like that. And it's pretty interesting. And since since we've had a lot of conspiracy talk on this show, I thought it'd be interesting. And then and I've also sent an email out to the Dadvocate, because she does a lot of men's rights advocacy type stuff and talks a lot about relationships too. So that's two things we're trying to men's mental health and relationships are two things we're trying to do some focus on. I thought maybe she'd be a good person to have on and talk to. So I don't know. I haven't got a response back, but I wouldn't expect to right away. I mean, I sent those like last night after just like after the show ended, after I passed out with my vertigo.
Men's mental health is being overcomplicated. A lot of times, I had a friend that got dumped like last week. Pretty much, what men need is be hugged and touched more rather than talked to about their emotions. It's pretty simple to get most men back to feeling happy about themselves. But we say, oh, self-improve, go to the gym, buy this thing, buy that class. People don't want to help men, they just want to sell stuff to them.
Well, I mean, sometimes that is true. I mean, I don't think that's not the case with everybody that looks into men's or talks about men's mental health or anything like that. Like that's not what we're trying to do. I think that I think it's good to encourage people to be willing to talk about things without encouraging them necessarily feminize themselves. Like there's something there is such a thing as you can be masculine and still talk about emotions and still and still be honest about things. And there's a lot of different aspects of it that I think you're right when it comes to men's mental health. There's a lot of people out there that are using it as a grift. That's definitely true. We're not using it as a grift though, and I don't think she is either. Her channel is mostly focused on like advocacy for like fathers and stuff like that, but still she does a lot of just men stuff and relationship advice stuff in general. I think, and she's I don't know, she's really Lindsay likes her channel a lot too. She thinks she's pretty and she's well spoken and she just has she has a good vibe going on. So I think she'd be a good person to have on. She is not at all like the kind of woman that I think that you would find annoying, Jeff. I don't think you'd think she's annoying. I hope not anyway.
Probably not if she's a honey badger.
No, that's Ida Paladin. I don't think you won't have any problem with her at all. She's cool shit. No, but
who's the one you talking about?
The Advocate. I put the link in the chat yesterday.
Aiden Fountain. Yeah, she was a honey badger.
Ida Paladin was, but the Advocate is just like I think her name is Lauren. It just look up Dadvocate on YouTube. It comes up. Like she started appearing in my feed.
I think
a few months ago.
She might have been on Andrew's show. I think I might.
Oh really? I've never seen her on anything else before.
If it's the same lady,
like most of her stuff was on TikTok, but she started expanding her
the Dadvocate.
Yeah.
Well, we sold the blouse.
Yeah.
Let me see if it's her.
$7.
I think it might be the lady that was on Andrews. I did like her when I saw her on the Crucible.
She's very like I think she's very practical, no nonsense. She herself is like she's a stepmom to her husband's children, but she has a child with him too, and she's really I don't know. I thought the fact that I'm me being a dad with my kid on here a lot of times too, maybe that will maybe that would give a good reason to maybe she would be more encouraged to come on. I know she's got her YouTube channel doesn't have that many followers yet either. I mean, she's a lot bigger than we are, but it's not she's not like a massive YouTuber because I looked at Teal Swan, but she's got like 2.75 million followers, so I don't think she's gonna talk to us.
She's also very targeted. She has a very specific niche that she themes her videos to, and ours are more kitchen sink.
Yeah, I really like her interviews that we've done. So
yeah, Teal Swan and the Alchemist barely collaborate with other people, and they're focused on spirituality. They got what they're working on honed in. I'm not saying that they wouldn't talk to someone else, but they're pretty directed, like Laser Beam Shorts.
I don't know what I would say to Teal Swan. I'm not really that into her. To me, she's a new UG. She's like Marion Williamson.
She has a lot of practical relationship advice stuff, though. She has a lot. Much of the stuff I've seen of her wasn't like I did when you mentioned that yesterday. I did look more at her videos, and I did see that she does have a lot more spirituality stuff than I was aware of. The clips that kept coming across my YouTube were more about her talking about like the way that relationships, like what works for men and women in relationships, and the reason why, and how, and really it's really focused, it's really more targeted at women though than it is toward men. She really targets her messages towards women about how women can be less.
What is she going to have to say to us?
I don't know.
She targets both.
She reminds me of that telepathy lady that was on.
That's part of the reason that's part of the reason I decided not to even message her. I decided to focus on the people that were more. She was just someone that came across my YouTube feed in the last couple of months that I thought was interesting. But like I agree with you. She's really more new agey than anything we talk about. And like I said, she's more focused towards women than she is towards men. And if we have much of an audience at all, I mean, we do have a few women in our audience, but
I know, but we keep losing them when Joshua Jones comes on.
Well, just the one. I think she'll come back.
Driving away all of our women, the few that can tolerate us to begin with.
Well, we had a really good interview with Somewhere in Time the other day. She was really great. So
Oh, I loved her. Yes, Vegas.
I'd have her back on any time to talk to her. She's fascinating. She was Did you see that one that she was a former Vegas showgirl?
Negative.
She's cool.
She was really cool. Really cool.
She has a granddaughter named.
She's a granddaughter named Juniper, just like my daughter's named Juniper. So, and plus, there was a lot of synchronicity on that thing. That like, she was the one that was like making lemonade, and we had the lemon background, and then there was like we were all three from Vegas, and like, and she had the Juniper thing. It was like a bunch of weird synchronicity on that one. Yeah. Why are you trying to eat Mama's mirror? Huh? What are you trying to eat that for? Yeah, but I'm trying to find some YouTubers that are kind of mid-range-ish. So just have them on just to do interviews. People I think that are interesting that may come on do an interview, because I think our interview content has been really good so far. Been really, I don't know. I feel like we could just as much as we could do relationship stuff. I feel like you and me, Jeff, could also do some stuff kind of like what trigonometry does.
Yeah, the problem with that is since we do an open panel live stream, we'd have to either have them drop in on the live stream or do a separate non-live stream series where we just interview guests. And those are harder to coordinate and schedule regularly.
Well, here's the thing. You can just close the panel till you feel like opening it, because you have to authenticate everyone you bring on stage. So
I would prefer that people just drop it on the panel and then we can clear everybody out and just talk to them instead of scheduling in advance and try to coordinate. Like, just because we're on regularly enough where they can drop in when it's convenient for them, and then we can give them the spotlight while they're here.
Just tell them that the panel's there, and you may have a special show for them, like you did that other guy you had on.
What other guy?
If we get like any big names that come in, we'll just bump the regulars.
Yeah, the guy that you had, Jeff had the presentation. The guy that had the presentation,
and let the higher status people do their thing.
The presentation?
Jeff had a guy who did a presentation.
Oh, like way back when? Yeah, like the thing that he did a long time ago.
No, it was
recently.
It was like early this week.
This week, who do we have on that we had a presentation from? I don't remember.
And maybe last week, but it can't be any further back than that.
My brain, it doesn't surprise me. My brain doesn't work very well.
Let me open a tab and I'll tell you who it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking at like what do we have? I mean, you mean like with Anton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a regular series. So we planned that one in advance.
Yeah, just do it like that.
Yeah, we've had Anton on several times. So he's been on like just the open panels too, and we had him on specifically before him and Jeff started doing that to talk about his video about when he got canceled by all of his friends and stuff like that. We did a video about that. So yeah, we've definitely had Anton a few times. I guess that one wasn't really close to anybody else, but nobody came on. So,
well, the beginning is when it's just me and him, and then we open it up. So we could do a guest like that where we talk to them for a while,
Mhm.
They can stick around for questions if they want.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
when they leave, we can just reopen the panel.
Yeah.
Now, if
Sorry,
we have
she's-
enough guests, there's enough people that want to do it regularly, we can have a whole different series where it's just us and the guests, like trigonometry style.
Yeah, I mean, I do think she's so cute. I do think we probably, as we start refining our episode types, we probably should, like, refine them into, like, kind of like I'll come up with different graphics cards. We gotta come up with it whenever we're gonna talk about dating type stuff or relationship advice. I was trying to think of a name for that. Right, I was like, I came up with one last night, but I was like half asleep. What was it? It was something, some play on ships, but I can't remember what it was now. I can't remember what it was. It's something to do. It was something. It was some like dumb portmanteau with ship in it, but I can't remember what it was now. I'll think of it again.
But yeah, Steve McRae's someone you want to get on eventually. He cares about the same issues, and right now he's just a little bigger than us.
Oh, that's
is
right.
it?
Who?
Steve McRae. He's been around the debate spirit for a really long time.
Okay, that's what it was. It was just gonna be. We call it battleship or battleships.
Oh, battleships. Yeah, I understand that.
So we're talking about dating and relationships.
He looks conspiracist.
He's not.
Maybe I'm
He's
on the
pretty
wrong
much the
channel.
opposite. He's pretty much the opposite. He's a graduate of Naval Nuclear Power School.
Okay, I was on the wrong channel. Yeah, he looks. Oh, he did. He had Crocoduck.
Yeah,
Yes.
Crocoduck. No, you're a big
Oh,
fan of him.
that already. If anybody that's associated with Crocoduck is an automatic yes.
Yeah, reach if you want to reach out to him. Or you want me to email him? Either way.
Actually, looks familiar.
Yeah, you saw him before.
He looks like he's kind of. Let me see. He might be a hot daddy. Or is that just his thumbnail?
It's just his thumbnail. I promise that you saw him before. He's been around for a really long time.
How many viewers does he have? 16,000.
16,000. Yeah, he's not too big. I think he'd be somebody who would talk to us.
He talks to me, so.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, I've been on the show a few times. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Extended amount of time.
Does he do open panels too?
They're not really. He usually brings like one guest or so, maybe a couple. He used to run what was that show called?
What were you on him for?
What was he on? Pretty much let's go over a topic, but he used to host a debate show. What was it called before Monday Debate? I forgot the name of the debate show. Let me search it up. Non Sequitur show, yes. He used also Non Sequitur show, very big debate show that happened before Monday Debate came. Well, they went at the same time for a little bit, but yeah, big debate show. Very popular debate show. The host has falling out, that's why it doesn't air anymore. But very big popular debate show.
What we need to do is figure out a way to social engineer our way into Elon Musk's line of sight, so we can.
I had a friend that was working on that plan, and he
Really?
kind of dropped off the map.
I
He
probably
was
worked.
trying to do the same thing because they're both neurodivergent. So he was coming at it from the neurodivergent angle, which I mean we also all are too. That's definitely something we can use.
That's something I was joking about with Jack the other day. I was like, could we somehow like do some sort of like social engineering hypnosis with like Elon Musk for good? Like fun because he's got so much money at this point that like he could pretty much like there's nothing that he couldn't fund and not even like really bother him any at this point. So
We need a R. What is it, George R. Martin?
yeah, George R. R. Martin. Yeah, I know. I've thought that many times.
But we still have to give him something to work.
Yeah, I
with.
know. I've got to rebuild my business plan and rebuild it into something like the old business plan was built all around the physical location. I need to rebuild it in a way that's built around staging it, where that's like that's a possibility as an end goal, but it's not the end all be all of the project. I need to like structure it more like something to be virtual and like expand like that. And it's just I just have to rethink it quite a bit. I mean, and I am more than welcome if anyone wants to help me do that. That is, they're more than welcome to, because I have not done a business plan in quite some number of years now. So believe me, it's going to take me It's going to take me a little while to.
I have my little worksheets from when I took a workshop that helped you put together a business plan, and I have the templates from that.
Yeah, I did. I bought a business plan before. Right now, I'd rather just focus on just getting the money. Then I'll just talk about cash flow instead. I'd rather just focus on just getting the money. And that's a.
Well, that's how you get the money to the business plan.
No, you get the money. You ask for the money. You know,
but you have to be willing to. You have to offer something in exchange for the money. You can't just go around asking for money like a beggar, can you?
But technically, you can.
Okay.
And sometimes it works. So.
I
prefer to trade something, but technically you can't just panhandle for money.
I'm terrible at asking for money. That's one of my biggest weaknesses. Like I'm really good at I was talking. This is what I was talking to Joshua about yesterday. Is that I'm really good at managing businesses. I've been a very successful manager of everything every time I've ever been in charge of something like that. I've helped it flourish. I've helped it grow. I've built teams really well. I'm really good at choosing the people for the team and like stuff like that. But when it comes to the initial startup part of it, whenever it comes to like the negotiation and like the asking for money and trying to get all the terms, I get very sheepish about it. I always feel like I don't have the right to ask for anything. You know, I get this like kind of like I feel that imposter mentality thing come on. You know, I've tried to fight it like and try to learn and grow from it, but man, it's like
I don't have a problem asking, but I like to have something to show them.
Yeah,
getting for their money.
So I've read Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. So I have a lot of tactical maneuvers to do, but I'm not good with marketing whatsoever. So I could probably negotiate something good. But I need more practice with negotiation. That's why I'm gonna be on these panels and dealing with these trolls, so I can have someone adversarial to practice on that won't demand too much of my time. So
I see. Okay, like that's you have said now you have given the first they're the first person now. Everyone I've talked to that's given me any kind of actual practical reason to engage with a troll at all, and I still think that it's a mistake. But I do see what you're saying. Like you're saying, you're using the trolls as a practice, as someone to practice on an adversarial opponent like that. That actually makes sense. I will give you that. I still think it's a mistake, but I think that it makes sense, and I applaud that.
It's a mistake because the trolls will convert you to their side, and you will lose that adversarialness. I've seen it happen with Tommy. You were taken up for him on machines. Like he somehow had you on his side.
Incorrect. I'm always on my own side. If it looks like I'm in someone's side, it's always a temporary alliance, including this one.
Okay.
So it looks like I'm on someone's side. It's an illusion. I'm always on my side.
Well, I will keep that in mind, including the here.
Yes.
So it's like what you were temporary aligning with him against like whoever the other person was. I can't remember the name.
Punjabi. Punjabi is Illuminated News. He comes over here.
Yeah, and I actually talked to him. He's nice.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, I do like him.
Yeah,
he's very personable.
Yeah, I talked to him in Discord today. So he's nice. I like him. He's definitely a lawyer. In fact, he told me on Machine Lines Discord that he pretty much specializes in DUI and domestic violence cases, which is you're gonna actually want to talk to him for sure, because those two issues gets a lot of men in trouble, especially the domestic violence. So he'll be a good expert.
Don't drink and drive, and don't beat your partner. Simple.
Well,
the thing is,
there are
if
some
you don't beat your partner, if you're accused of being your partner, you could be in a lot of
Well,
trouble.
don't get accused of beating your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's more like the advice there is don't entangle yourself or be in relations with crazy women. I guess is the real thing. But I've known guys that literally they've never touched their partner. They just got accused of it, and they immediately the cops in some states automatically take the woman's side no matter what. Even if the dude's the one that's beaten and bloody and she doesn't have a bruise on her, they will still take him to jail.
Yes.
So
Yeah, but that's just the initial stage of the process.
Yeah, but that stain can be on you for a long time. Look what happened to fucking Justin Roiland, the guy that created Rick and Morty and shit. Like he just got accused of some domestic violence shit, and now he got fired from everything. He's persona non grata in Hollywood, and they dropped the charges against him.
Oh my!
All his charges were dropped. He has no outstanding. He's not in trouble for anything anymore.
I think that's an injustice. There's due process for that.
I'm just saying, but even a famous guy like that can get fucked with the domestic violence accusations.
Exactly. So you probably want to get Punjabi on.
He's been.
We told him we wanted him to come back on and talk more, but he said he was too busy at the moment to do it. So
yeah, so just talk to him again. See when he's not busy.
I don't bet that people know where to find us. I have the welcome mat out. We're sitting out on the porch. They know where we are. I'm not trying to get a hook and pull people off the street into our thing.
That's fine.
Intrinsic motivation and freedom of association.
Sure. I don't have a problem just putting an invitation out once. I'm not gonna start begging people or sending out tons of emails. But I don't see there's some people that may just not be aware of us to the degree and or are not aware of because even whenever he was on for just a few seconds of their day, he came on, he left, and immediately his comment was thank you so much for having me on. He was all thankful for it, and I was it wasn't a big deal, but to some people that seems like a big deal to them. So sometimes they need that extra push to make them feel like you're welcome there. Some people just don't feel welcome going on. Like I said, I told you, I had the same thing for a long time. I felt really insecure and I showing up on a stream or a panel where I didn't know any of the people or I didn't know the panel that well. I felt like I was intruding on something, and so
it's not that hard. You just get over that if you want to.
Yeah, I did get over it.
You have something to say that you want people to hear, or you want to participate in a conversation. To me, most adults will just get over that and come on the panel that they want.
And now I can save money on super chats because I can just hop on and tell them instead of sending a super.
Oh, that's right. You do. I do see you spending the dollars.
Yeah, but now I don't really have to spend more than one super chat per show now. So, because it's on the panel anyways.
What you gotta do is if you're gonna go out and spend money on super chats, find those closed panel shows that where you can spend the super chat to try to attract them to a show like ours or something like that. See if Bison and super chat if they would
What advantage do we have that over everyone else, other than no trolls that would get people to come here?
Oh, I want to talk to this guy. Yes.
What's up?
Hey, we watched a little bit of it. So that was one of your videos that he was just reacting to?
Yeah, I'm actually probably about to private it again just for the sake of my YouTube channel because some spicy things come up later on in the video. But I don't know. I thought that was hilarious because it was basically him and his entire chat. All they did the entire time was play word games and throw out ad homs. And basically, they showed really what I was afraid of for a long time, which is that these people are essentially cultists who actually suppress the urge to think for oneself. And basically the entire time, what he did was he and his audience sat there and whined about the fact that I have an original perspective that bypasses his stupid word games, because that's exactly what he did the entire time. He started doing these postmodern word games, which is what the orthobro version of presup is. I'm not opposed to a form of presuppositional argumentation, but the way that it's been transformed by a lot of these orthobros is basically just right-wing postmodernism. And it's just well, well, what do you mean? Well, give me the definition. Well, you got to like, it's basically all he does is play these philosophical word games to avoid having to actually talk about the issues because of the fact that he doesn't want to, because he's actually a deer in headlights and he's never studied any anthropology in his life. None of these people have ever studied any of these tribes that they're speaking about. They're relying on dumbass, basically propaganda
He
about
does
them.
what Andrew
Yeah.
does. He relies on rhetoric
Yeah, but which won't work because
over
but
dialectic.
TCPS and I have gone beyond postmodernism. We gone post truth, so we can let them have their presuppositions. We can still map our way back to the conclusion because we know how to navigate all the logic. So we can navigate back to the conclusions we have because it actually makes sense, unlike Jim Bob's.
No, see, but the thing that the game that he plays is that essentially the only way that you can understand anything is by first accepting that the Orthodox Church is the true church. But by the way, that means actually not most of the Orthodox Church, because most of the Orthodox Church is overrun by liberals. And it doesn't mean, anything it doesn't mean the Byzantine Church or the Greek Church because the leader of the Greek Church is liberal. It doesn't mean the Ukrainian Church because the Ukrainian Church is anti-Russia. What it means is it's specifically the Russian Orthodox Church, but even the Russian Orthodox Church isn't really correct in X, Y, Z circumstance. So actually, it really comes down to ROCOR. But even then, ROCOR has people that are so it becomes this constantly shifting sand, and you're never actually based enough unless what it finally boils down to is no. Actually, what really you need to do is you really just need to trust me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm the authority.
So how our parents just make them say it out loud. Just ask for more details. Which one can we trust? I mean, this is easy. He's reusing stuff Molly used a decade ago.
And it's hilarious because he like makes it almost like it's this given. Like it's just like the whole time it was like, well, you don't have a definition for like, because that's the thing. I came in and I quoted in the video that I watched. I was giving actual statistics, actual numbers, citing actual sources. What's his response is, well, no, but see, the thing is that like you're just going to these stupid sources and statistics instead of doing what you're supposed to do, which is like engage me in my word games and get caught up in definitions the entire time. And I mean, it was embarrassing. And he got so emotional. Like he saw at one point, he was looking for my video. He saw that I was doing a live stream about evolutionary psychology. He instantly was like, oh, you're one of those crazies who believes in evolution, aren't you? It was like,
yes, we believe in
But he
change.
also believes that NASA is a cult. He did a whole video on NASA being a cult, and asteroids are not real.
Asteroids aren't real. I guess he did a video
And like
on the moon being
meteors,
primary
like
too,
people
right?
think meteors hit the Earth and leave a big crater. Where's the meteor after that? If the meteor hit the Earth and all there is a crater,
evaporated,
why isn't
moron.
the meteor still around?
It evaporated. Most of it evaporates because it's still hot. Or in his world, we could just say it bounced off the firmament. He'll believe that.
I'm just like, again, I'm floored because there's people in the Orthodox sphere I like. There's people in the Orthodox sphere I respect, and it's really sad to see like clowns like this Jim Bob retard are taking it over. Like, just look at this guy. Just look at the way he argues. Look at the way he thinks. He's obviously, I'm gonna be honest, I think he's obviously deeply mentally unstable. Nobody in their right mind immediately looks, and the moment they see that some guy has a video that mentions the words evolutionary psychology, instantly he's like, how dare you, evolutionary psychology? Like it's like a flailing little boy, and his audience, they were the same way. And I tried to engage a couple of them, and there's this one retard. I finally left after this one retard was saying that how stupid it is to follow some society that didn't even know which mushrooms are poisonous or not, which is the most anthropologically illiterate thing I've ever heard. Every society adapts to its environment if it survives. These people know all about their environment. They know every single plant, every single animal, every single thing in their local area. And then I asked him, okay, so where's the where's the tribe you're talking about? And he instantly starts.
Yeah, show me the tribe.
Well. I mean, I love, like, this is just the way it is. Like, but I totally know more about anthropology than you do. It was like the most, like, I swear these people, Jim Bob's audience, are maybe next to the modern day debate audience, the stupidest audience I've ever interacted with in my life.
No, they're dumber
point
than
on
modern
the
day
flat
debate
Earth.
audience. I guarantee it. They're dumber than the modern day debate
point-
audience. You can tell me I said that.
Point on the flat Earth where the noble savage hurt you.
That's basically what it was. I wonder, does he believe in a flat Earth? Because he's believes stuff that's pretty close in some ways, but then on the other hand, he ends up like shilling for modern society, and these people in his audience, they're acting like it's just a given and that you're crazy if you're criticizing modern medicine. They don't even realize that Pew Research surveys indicate that half of Americans do not believe that modern medicine has done more good than harm. And I'm not using that as an argument against or in favor of anything. I'm just saying that they're acting like this isn't even in the Overton window when 50% of Americans agree with me.
So I don't want to control the whole thing, but I have two questions really quick. First of all, Hank, what did you say about Stefan Molyneux? And secondly, I want to help you develop an answer to his rebuttal, because I do want to bait these guys into debating this specific topic, because this is what I was talking about for a year and no one seemed to catch on. I'm like, why does no one want to talk about the presupposition that progress in technology and whatever this is that we're doing now is just like more or less either A, inevitable, or B, a good thing, right? So I just wanted to ask first, what did you say about Stefan, and then how do we formulate a way? Because he tried to critique what you're saying, and I know that it was, in my opinion, it was kind of avoiding the issue. In my personal opinion, I'm sure this will get played on there, and I'll be attacked as well. But I'm just I just want to see the debate be fleshed out. Like, if he says that you don't have the right way to ask the question, how do we ask the question in the right way, right?
He's not an authority on how to ask questions. You talking about Jim Bob?
Well, he's very intelligent, but that's the thing is, either
he is. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen much of his work.
No,
I think he's a moron, if I'm being honest.
He's smart, but the point is, like, I think that there's probably a reason he doesn't want to engage in this topic, because I think he's smart enough to know that the topic is important. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. You get what? Because he's said many things against technology and JPL and Jack Carson. So obviously he's aware that there is a cult influence on the cult of progress. So that's why I'm kind of confused as well. And I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying, like, how is that possible that you can both know that the cult of progress is literally a Luciferian agenda, and at the same time, like you said, he doesn't want to engage in whether Ludditism is, and preserving, some semblance of, traditional cultures. Because, and that's what I said in the chat. I said, don't Christians want to preserve their culture? So you see what I mean? Like, now it becomes a war against, well, we want to preserve Christianity, but not others. And if you can't make you can make a theological say, well, I'm right, you're wrong. Well, anybody can say that. So how do we get to if you're going to grant your worldview, like you said, then how do we get to a secular version of that? That's what I'm trying to say, right? So go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you just construct one. You just construct a secular version. But he doesn't want it because he's a religious zealot.
Well, they say Jesus was a religious zealot, therefore they should be too, right?
He had a Jesus wig on the other day.
Yeah, that's kind of a meta. I have some thoughts on that, but I don't want to get into it right now. But what did you say about Stefan, Hank? And then I genuinely want to figure a way to, like, how do we get these guys to debate this issue? Go ahead, sir.
Oh, Stefan Molyneux, he used the same. How do they say it? He used the same pattern argument to sell universally preferable behavior. Pretty much, he used a precept argument. So Jim Bob's doing this decade what Stefan Molyneux did last decade.
No, that's like, if you go back and watch all the Jim Bob appearances I had, whenever this subject came up, I referenced Stefan Molyneux a lot, because I found that a lot of the Orthodox Christians that we talk to are trying to do the exact same argument from a Christian's perspective that Stefan did from a atheist perspective. And again, that's not shit talking. That's my perception of it, because I followed Stefan Molyneux very rigorously for quite a number of years. So, and I don't fully accept what he said now, but I do think that if you're going to have an atheistic moral framework, as far as I know, he's about as close to he's about as hard to defeat as anyone I can think of from an atheistic presuppositional argument.
His precepts pretty easy to defeat, but his other arguments are very sturdy. His precept goes down as easy as any other precept, but he has better arguments than that.
What's up, kiddo?
And I don't follow the guy, so I don't really know.
Well, here's my
what to
question.
say.
Traditional trad, how would you reframe the question in light of what he was saying as his reason for not engaging with you on a debate? Like, how would you reframe what he said?
I would say that it's because I was arguing within. I guess it was because I was arguing within an evidentialist paradigm, and if you argue within an evidentialist paradigm, you find out that there's a lot of good arguments in favor of my position. So what he did was he then all of a sudden started saying, well, the evidence be damned, because really now we're going to bring this into the domain of like words and definitions. And because I didn't want to bring it into the domain of words and definitions, because that's what he kept saying. Well, I really want to have a debate about the worldviews and the words and like the meanings that you're like. He was basically almost like trying to Jordan Peterson his way into having a Jordan Peterson style conversation where it's just all about redefining things and what do you mean by this and what do you mean by that, and I'm not interested. I'm totally disinterested in having that debate. I think that's ridiculous and stupid to have that debate.
Yeah, here's the thing. People accuse me of having a Jordan Peterson style argument. I'm just saying how I use the words. There's no reason to debate about it. If you disagree with the way I'm using words, you propose your own word, propose your own definition. Then we can. It's not even a base negotiation. So a communication protocol, so we understand what we're saying to each other. So the debate hasn't even started yet for real. It's just trying to figure out what protocol we're going to communicate over. So we and the audience understands what we mean.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's important to discuss terms and discuss like, hey, like here's a commonly agreed upon thing. But the problem is that Jim Bob eventually said that that's what he wanted the entire debate to be. I'm totally
that's a waste of time.
Disinterested in having that debate. I do not for a moment want to have a debate where the entire thing is just arguing over the meanings of terms. That's the most boring debate imaginable.
That is important though.
Yeah, but we don't want. You want to get to the point eventually, so you need to have a point you're trying to get to. Depending on what the meaning of words, that's fruitless. Because if you don't have a reference point, then the words can mean whatever you feel like they mean. It doesn't make a difference.
No, the issue I had was that he said that that's what he wanted the entire debate to be about. Like I understand. Obviously it's important to have agreed upon definitions. But that's what he said. He said the debate he wanted to have with me would be that's what it would be about. He literally was like, well, I don't care if you support these, these disgusting, savage people in the other part of the world that I don't like because they're not Christian white men. Like that was basically his worldview, was that like, or his attitude was like, I don't actually want to deal with the details of what you're trying to say because that would force me to think and rethink things. Instead, I want to basically stick it in this domain of precept where the entire time I'm going to hammer you on like the way you're defining this term and the way you're defining that term and like where's your starting point. So what's your presupposition? Like that's the debate he wanted to have. I'm not interested in having that debate. I'm here to talk about.
Well, and here's the other thing. And sorry to interrupt you. I just want to get this point out because I'm about to lose service. Here's the other thing is like and again, I'm sure this will get floated around to people in the. I know some of those people in the chat are good people, and I talk to them sometimes. But the thing is like, for me, it's like if you ever try to critique their worldview, they say, well, I defer to the Orthodox Church, and as you pointed out, it's like, well, it's a very, very specific within the interpretation within the Orthodox Church, and then we say, well, what is that interpretation, and what are their sources? They're like, well, that's going to take base, and again, I'm being hyperbolic, but I don't think that much. Well, go spend 20 years in the Orthodox Church, rise through the ranks, and you'll get the esoteric knowledge. But then they say the same breath, well, that we don't take a Gnostic interpretation that's based on faith. Well, it's like, okay, well, you want me to trust what you're saying, but then it's all based on faith. But at the same time, I'll never understand how you're, making this argument in a logical way because I can't understand your presuppositions. And in the same breath, you say, well, we're the most reasonable because, our God is a God of, reason, but then you won't be able to understand it without joining the club and you'll understand, but you don't need to. You see, to me, it's like, that's where I'm getting confused as well. It's like, so we're not Gnostic, but but if you want to understand our beliefs, you have to, follow the knowledge, and that takes a long period of time. And then you have to sort through the good interpretations versus the bad interpretations.
No,
and then, aren't we in the same place we started at the end of the day?
But if you follow the knowledge and it takes a long time, though, then you're actually out of the club, because then you start becoming like these people that they hate, like Callistos Ware, who spent his entire life studying orthodoxy, but oh no, he came to the wrong conclusion, and so now he's actually a liberal, and we
it's funny
him. And then Jim Bob, who by the way is a catechumen, he literally admitted on that stream that he's not actually a member of the Orthodox Church, but he has all the authority.
Well, but here's the funny thing, you mentioned that. I'm literally about to go into an Orthodox Church, and we're studying a Callistos Ware book, and so many of these Orthodox said, oh, you don't need to read him. And I'm like, why wouldn't I read him? He's like, a scholar, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, and again, I'm just saying, like, even if he's wrong, I could still learn something from his perspective, right? So I don't know. That is very curious to me as well, right? So
yeah. So what you don't want to debate only about the definitions. You want to figure out what you want to undermine. You want to start with what's the kill shot. So I would go focus on the fact that he's not in real Orthodox. So
as much as possible, I'd like to avoid personal attacks. I mean, I know he doesn't. That's basically his MO when he's not playing word games, is just to be like, literally that was the other half of the argument. So just, how young is this guy? He must be a Zoomer. He must live in his mom's base. Like, that was literally the other half of the argument when he wasn't playing stupid word games. In general, I don't know.
How old is Jim Bob? He don't seem that old.
The less fruitful I feel like a debate actually would be. That's another reason I'm privating the videos, because I'm not sure. It's not like Andrew. I like Andrew. I've had good, positive, decent exchange with him, even about the things we disagree on. We can talk to each other like adults. Like, Jim Bob does not seem like he's emotionally and psychologically on my level, if I'm being honest. Like, he seems like all he's got is like peak debate bro energy, and I'm not interested. Like, I don't see how it'd be fruitful to have a conversation where all it's going to be is peak debate bro bullshit and word games and arguing and quibbling over definitions, rather than actually getting down to the data itself, which is exactly what he keeps trying to avoid. Because if we got down to the data, it would become clear that he's never read a single ethnography in his life, which, by the way, he more or less admitted, because his response was to say, well, why would I have to read ethnographies? Because they're all written by a bunch of liberals anyway. Like, that was literally his response, was just to, well, basically just to poo-poo all of anthropology. The exact same thing that flat earthers do, with like, well, why should I read your bogus ground earth science? Like, that was basically what his entire style was. What am I actually going to gain from having that debate, if I'm being honest?
Oh yeah, this one's a cookie cutter thing. You can break him with the skeptics anti Bible. This is going to be cookie cutter. He's cakewalk style debate. So pretty much what you do is make him show his own model, and it will crumble like freaking sand. You just ask him, show me your model, and you're gonna have that's the Orthodox cheat sheet to make sure he even follows what his team's supposed to say anyways. and you grade him on that, then you keep asking for his model, he won't be able to bring it to you. So it's pretty simple.
Oh no, I doubt he would ever have a debate where he's being allowed to go on the defensive. He's not. It doesn't strike me as that sort of guy. And I'll tell you what, if you do try to, I've had enough interactions with orthopros that I know if you do try to put them on the defensive about like, well, here's problems with like your worldview and blah, 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 they'll instantly say, yeah, well, that's not an issue because we just default to the Orthodox Church and that's the only way we can understand reality. So you're actually not understanding reality because you aren't defaulting to the Orthodox Church. So it's circularity, and it's an eternal circularity that we can just push up as this defensive shield. Is exactly what, you know, and I love David Patrick Harry. I will say he's nothing like Jim Bob. You know, I actually think it's hilarious that David Patrick Harry and Jim Bob are both part of the same orthobro movement, but a lot of what DPH says is at least like mildly on the same spectrum as what I'm saying. So I wonder, I think that would be interesting if they ended up having a conversation about this whole noble savage thing, because DPH has said some things that Jim Bob would probably not appreciate about, you know, traditional societies. But all that's a long-winded way of saying, you know, despite the fact that I think very positively of David Patrick Harry, I think that he had a misfortune of trying this, you know, precept, trying to like use precept as a crutch when he did the debate with Adam Green. And it didn't go over well. If anybody saw that debate, it did not go over well because, you know, essentially you can't do that. And actually you can't do that. You can only for so long attempt to use that as like a crutch to try and hide the fact that you came in unprepared for the debate. I'm not saying that's necessarily what DPH did, but that's totally what Jim Bob's doing. He's coming in, basically he doesn't want to prepare for the debate. He doesn't want to, you know, put in the time to research and find out what the truth actually is. So he's using precept as his like lazy ass argument mechanism so he doesn't actually have to think.
So here's the thing. Precept was invented as a hard counter to Natheist, aka agnostic atheist. It worked as a hard counter, but it falls when you step away from the premise. So against like a how do you call it? A hard atheist, a philosophical atheist, it's a tie, and against like a universalist or polytheist, it just loses really, really badly. And like the best debate you can watch recently would be Matt Dillahunty versus Andrew Wilson, where Matt Dillahunty tried to precept his way out of defending secular humanism, and he just got crushed. Or you can watch a Darth Dawkins debate. Precept only works when you have the whole argument on the rails. But as soon as you derail them, they got nothing, and that's where the personal attacks come in. So,
you know, and by the way, you know, the crazy thing is that like the version of precept they do is not even like the best version because they make it so over analytical and over philosophical and jargony that it actually doesn't even appeal to very many people, which, you know, might be why, although there is this youth movement now towards orthodoxy is relatively small, the Orthodox Church hasn't really grown that much for the last 500 years. The problem is that it's a very jargony sort of argument that doesn't even appeal to very many people.
But precepts are always jargony. Precepts so philosophical is always enough jargony. You can simplify it, but in small form, it is fortunately very jargony.
We know what's interesting though is that if you see like Islamic presuppositionalism, because there's a form of precept that exists within Islam as well. Yes. And it's actually way more straightforward. Like it's like this is one reason why Islam is growing a lot faster than your Orthodox Christianity is because these Dawah people like Hamza Mayat and Dr. Imran from EF Dawah and like Sharif Abu Laith, they use basically precept style arguments, but they basically do like a populist version of it that actually like makes sense to the average person. And they have a lot more success. And that's why, you know, Jim Bob's channel is what, like 12,000 subscribers, and these people's channels has like 400,000, 600,000 subscribers because because they're actually, and this is one way that, you know, I would say Islam and evangelical Protestantism have a huge advantage over like Eastern Orthodoxy, is that they're more like populist. They're more like able to meet ordinary people where they are, and they don't just like take this refuge in over intellectualism and the ivory tower, which Orthodoxy, in at least online, has a tendency to do that. Has a tendency to, you know, you listen to these people, and it's like you're talking to postmodern philosophy professors, except they're also like Christian right wingers who say that they're anti-postmodern.
Yes, which is why I laugh at people who are afraid of woke movement. But yeah, the Islamists and Protestants have a strong big advantage that the Orthodoxies don't have, especially Islamists. The Darwinists are explicitly allowed to make whatever they want up to get the conversion. They're explicitly allowed to do that, and the Protestants, they're not really academic at all. So they just inadvertently make stuff up. So if you have the flexibility to not have to depend on your experts, you can just adapt to whatever situation you need.
Yeah, and well, I mean, that though shows the vibrancy of these paradigms. Like, so, like, let's be honest here. And I say this, you know, taking no pleasure in it, because I think that there's a lot in Orthodoxy that's really valuable. And I think that, you know, compared to most of these other like organized Christian denominations, it definitely, I find it much more appealing than Catholicism or Protestantism or, you know, Mormonism or Jehovah's Witness or something like that. So I find like there's a lot in Orthodoxy that I, you know, like I do not wish the Orthobros on Orthodoxy. I think that it's really sad that this is what Orthodoxy is basically has become. But like, with all that being said, it is doomed by its very nature to never become the dominant world religion. You know, the way that Christianity has expanded a great deal over the last 2,000 years, but it's not been Orthodoxy, at least for most of it. There's some cases of like Orthodox missionaries in like Siberia or someplace like that, but generally speaking, that's not been the branch of Christianity that's done the lion's share of expansion. Islam is expanding even faster than Christianity. You know, these ideologies that are populist are trying to meet the common man where they are, you know, whether they're right or wrong. That does have appeal, and it does have power, and it does have strength, and that ends up winning. You know, Orthodoxy is not going to ever win. It's not going to win because it's basically it does take refuge. It is this inward look. It's the same with Hinduism. You know, Hinduism is never going to win. You know, they don't even try really, but they're never going to win because they're inward looking. But with Hinduism, you know, again, they don't try. They don't want to win converts. The Orthodox claim that they do, but then they do a sucky job at actually evangelizing.
Here's the thing with Hinduism. That term's deceptive because it's actually not one religion. It's a family of religions. So that term's deceptive. So
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
In fact, even Hindus themselves will now say that it's not Hinduism. It's what they call Sanatan Dharma, which is basically like the total collectivity of various forms of reaching enlightenment that came out of India.
Yes. So pretty much last week, my church, Sunny Hill, did pretty much a sermon on some of the Hindu gods, but that's not the point. The point is you have to classify you have to collect all the New Age religions that derive from like the sutras and stuff, including Unitarian Universalism. You either had to count them individually or you had to map them and group them together because it's that whole family of religions, and it spreads like a virus as a conduit. Individually they're pretty small, but collectively they spread like a virus. They can't be stopped, and there's some like like the Unitarians have a whole lot of resources and did not pay that much attention to. So they'll sneak up on you, and it's if I said the thing is, if there was a one world religion, Unitarian Universalism would probably be a likely choice if it was picked by the people in charge, because it doesn't have a dogma. It's non-dogmatic, so it makes it easy enough to fit wherever you need it.
Well, that's if you talk to somebody like Jim Bob, that's what they warn and fearmonger about, is that there's this coming like one world, basically like Unitarian type religion that's like, oh, they're coming to give us this like one world new age spirituality that by the way is teaching all this like evil dark dogma, like that we should preserve traditional cultures and that there's valuable things and these Native American traditions and things like that. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. And that's actually a lot of, I think, the fear and the paranoia within the Orthodox sphere towards the sort of thing that I'm saying, is that they're viewing this as like, oh, this is part of this one world religion that's coming, that's trying to like amalgamate the other religions. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, shouldn't, if you're a Christian who's reading Christianity within the actual like views of the church fathers, shouldn't you want something like a religion that's able to adjust and able to see like the good in all the other traditions? I mean, Justin Martyr was one of the earliest of the church fathers, and he describes this concept of logos spermaticos, which is basically the idea that that there is all this truth that we can gather from the various world religions, that we shouldn't just stamp out like a fundamentalist, stamp out everything that we see in a traditional culture. We should rather see, hang on, there's value within this tradition. There's parallels between our tradition and their tradition, and maybe we can actually learn through dialogue and interchange and exchange, which by the way is how Christianity traditionally operated, including Orthodox Christianity. Because if you go to Russia now, if you go to Bulgaria now, everybody is really superstitious, and they still have a whole lot of like the old paganism that hasn't, even communism couldn't kill it off, and Orthodox Christianity didn't even try to kill it off. So these modern ideas, they're completely at odds with the actual history. Because if Orthodoxy or if Catholicism or if any of these traditions, Islam, versus the Salafism of the modern Islamic world, if any of these modern forms of fundamentalism were actually tried, they would have died off because they don't work, because people in traditional cultures are not willing to give these things up. So this is what they don't understand, and that they can't understand, is that like this one world religion boogeyman that they're fearing. If that were to happen, would that be a bad thing necessarily? I mean, I would say it would be a bad thing in the sense that it would involve the standardization of human culture. And I could hardly imagine how traditional cultures in any way could be preserved if you had like a one world government or one world religion. I think that, so obviously I think that from my own anthropological standpoint, that would be horrible. But from his standpoint, why would that necessarily be bad? Unless, of course, what it all boils down to is he's a religious fundamentalist. He doesn't want to view there as being any sort of possible value in any other tradition besides his own.
Yeah, here's the thing. Even if you did get a one world style of thing, it can't be essentially managed because of this data throughput issues just by transferring that amount of information. There's too much stuff, too many objects that have to be managed. So there's going to be a throughput issue. So it's going to be a tree-like structure, like in Megacorp. So you have a tree of people in charge here, three people in charge there, and it's going to be managed at a local level because that's how you do it the most efficiently. So there may be a one world interface, but generally the mayor's going to be in charge.
Well, that's already the way things are run in the highly organized technological IT realm that he worships, and tells you that you're a bad Christian if you critique. So who knows? I mean, again, and that's the thing. Like, if you adopt this, modernistic paradigm, which he does for everything other than religion, apparently, because he does, crap on the 50% of the population who question modernity. He does align with the other 50% that are basically, shills for modernity. But interestingly not in the domain of religion. So leave the religious sphere out of that. That's the one thing that actually does get to be ancient and traditional, according to him, is Orthodox Christianity, which should, by the way, colonize the globe. That's another thing he pointed out, was that he's actually very pro-colonialism, and he even like rolled his eyes when I brought up the Iraq War. It's like, oh wow, you're still talking about the Iraq War, which to me, maybe I'm being like reading too much into it, but that tells me where he would have stood if it were 2003 instead of 2023 on this issue. But his entire mindset is so modern on everything else. If I were to take the modern paradigm that he takes on everything else, I would apply it to religion too and say, hey, let's have a one world religion based on, New Age or whatever, that's trying to amalgamate everything. Because isn't that exactly what you would expect if you have any sort of progressivist, modernist interpretation of everything else? Why not apply that to religion? If traditional cultures are all just, savages, subhuman savages, the way that Jim Bob thinks they are, that would logically mean that traditional religions, including Orthodoxy, are also, in need of being updated, of being upgraded, just like technology is in need of being upgraded.
Yes, I agree. Which is why I actually joined. I never joined, but I went to a LDS church, the States church, for a little bit because they updated the prophet, and I think that's a good thing. You have to. Your religion has to progress. It has to adapt to the culture at hand. I'm a fair check tracks and all that kind of stuff. So your religion has to update, or it's just gonna fizzle out. It's just like software.
Well, I guess the world will see what Jim Bobism ends up doing in the long run. I can't imagine that this is going to be the next big trend that everybody's going to get into. I would actually put more money on Groiper Catholicism having more vibrancy in the future than this stuff.
I agree.
I don't think so at all. Are the Groipers even a thing anymore?
Yes.
Yeah.
They seem to have already fizzled out.
No, they're just trying to build institutions for themselves now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, Jim Bob's welcome to come on here and have the debate he wants to have. I can do semantics all day long.
Yeah, I can.
I still don't
I love
understand
getting
it
into
at all.
words and what they mean.
Yeah, pretty much once I guess a movement goes from the media phase to institution phase, you don't see much about them unless you're following their opposition. So
Well, I don't know. All I know is that I'm happy. I just got this connection with a what'll be at this point will be the biggest guest we've done. So that's exciting to me. I'm happy about that. So. Not too concerned about the Groipers right now.
You talking about that girl?
Yeah, her channel's pretty big. Actually,
Dadvocate.
Yeah, it's pretty big actually. And
I'm gonna go back and check the Crucible and see if that's the one that I'm thinking it is.
Oh, this isn't Lauren De Laguna, is it?
Yeah, is that the one that Andrew talked to that day?
Wait, is she coming on this channel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
what's
said she
wrong with her?
would.
Oh, wow.
Something wrong with her?
Or something wrong with us?
negative.
No, we're perfect.
I wouldn't say I
I
wouldn't go
only
that
saw her
far.
that one time. What's her name? Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren. Is it Delagudas or something like that?
Is she Canadian?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really. I can't tell the difference between Canadians and Americans unless they say a food a lot, like JJ McCall.
Here, I'll put the link in the room. Yeah, I'm gonna watch her. Oh wait, this may not be the same person. But I'll watch this Andrew one and
Let me see.
get an idea of what she's about.
That's not her.
Lauren De Laguna, that's not her.
I mean, if that is her, then she looks a lot different. She
Maybe
looks
it's
a
not
lot
De
different
Laguna.
now. Yeah, I don't think that's her. That doesn't look anything like her. Let me pull up a clip of actually of the woman that I actually messaged.
It doesn't say her last name. It just says Lauren.
This girl here, and most of her stuff is about. She talks about like fathers and dads' right, men's rights type stuff, and men's mental health, and she also has a little bit dating stuff, and gives advice to. Most of her stuff is on TikTok. To be fair, she has a lot of short stuff, but she does do some live stuff. So, and I think she's got some pretty base takes on stuff. So, I think she's interesting. But if she comes on and it's not interesting, then I guess
We'll
well.
kick her off, boot her out.
Yeah, right. She's certainly not a troll. I can tell you that much. She's not a troll. So she does a whole series where she calls out people that do what she calls partner shaming when they go on TikTok, and women make these videos where they basically bash their husbands just for doing basically dad stuff, just literally taking care of their kids. And there's a lot of women that do a lot of toxic things like that. And she calls out toxic femininity a lot, and just generally, I don't know. I think her content's really for the most part very healthy. She's also not anti-woman either. She's not like what's her name, like that chick that that everybody was freaking out about a few months back. That girl, that kind of plain looking girl that did that was doing that show.
Pearl?
Pearl. Yeah, she's not like Pearl or anything like that. She's not like some anti-woman weird pick me type thing. She's actually she's feminine, but she's very she's very pro masculinity and men and dads and stuff like that.
The speakers just went out again.
Trying to see
I'm
her
gonna
just
switch.
I guess, and I did see something where Destiny reacted to one of her videos and in my opinion treated very very off in his what he said about her. But I watched that one and I was like, I don't have any idea what Destiny was talking about. She was just talking about the issues with whenever her fathers go for their parental rights and stuff like that, and how difficult it is for dads to get parental rights in a lot of cases, and Destiny was like, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. And I've heard that story 1,000 times, so I don't know what he's on about there. But anyway, yeah, it's not Lauren De Laguna. It's not her. What's did you hear something about her, something like that? TCPS? So curious, why you reacted that way.
Oh, what's up?
I was curious why you reacted that way.
It may not be the same person. I was thinking of Lauren.
Oh, you mean Lauren De Laguna? I don't know this other Lauren. I just know Lauren De Laguna.
Yeah, this is not the same girl.
I see.
I'm pretty sure she was on the Crucible. I'm trying to find the video of her.
Her name, let me just it said it in her email. I just forgot. I'm like an idiot. It said her full name in the email. And
I'll see you guys later.
Okay.
Take care, Hank.
Yep.
All right. See ya.
Lauren Corbett is her name. Corbett. Lauren Corbett. And maybe if since that went well, I'm hoping we'll hear back from Miss Paladin as well, maybe, and we'll have a conversation with them as well. And I'll send out some. I'll keep sending out. I'm just gonna send out keep doing outreach. I see no reason not to. If they don't respond, they say no, or they don't respond, then it's fine. It doesn't really hurt us anyway. Either way, it's one of those things where it literally cannot hurt to ask. And
you told her we were a small channel.
Yeah,
She's not expecting.
Yeah, I told her that we were a small channel with and I sent her our main page, and I sent her a clip. I sent her like the I sent her the podcast we did the other day with can't remember her real name, but the Vegas Showgirl girl. And just I thought that was a pretty interesting little interview clip that just kind of saw like us like at our most positive and like like we're like there was no trolling, nothing like that happening. It was just like us talking to somebody interesting, and I just wanted to highlight that as kind of like I think that's one of the things that we really excel at. Our stream covers a whole lot of topics, but I personally really enjoy those streams when we just have like really cool conversations with interesting people about different things. I thought about sending one of the streams with Emerald, but with Joshua Jones and everything on there.
Oh yeah, we need to get Joshua on here when she's on.
Yeah, maybe after the first time, then we can give her some warning and be like, "We got this guy."
When's this happening?
I haven't worked it out yet. It's she just basically just sent me an email back. Just said like she said yeah I'd love to do it. She's just asked me about like the timing of like she's in Eastern time. She's in Eastern time. So it's just gonna like she actually is a mom that she picks up her kids from school and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to work out maybe an evening stream. But if not, I told her that she's welcome just to stop by our afternoon streams anytime because any of our streams are open panels. But otherwise, we can work out time to do more public interview. I got a new phone number, and I have gone non-stop spam calls, and I'm not sure how to stop them at this point. This is ridiculous.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah, and I might have to call Metro and ask them to change the phone number because like this is like seriously today so far. Let me see if I just because I haven't given this number to anyone yet. I have not given it out to a single person. So any call that's coming in has to be a spam call. And just since this morning, since I activated this phone number, God, I can't even count that many. I've gotten well over 50 though. I've got well over 50 spam calls.
Hey.
It keeps ringing constantly. I answered a couple of them just to like see if I could get them off, like take me off the list or something. And so it's like, I don't think of the right number, they hang up immediately. So it's like I can't even get a chance to like get off the list or whatever.
Do you know what my phone number is, Ben?
You don't have one right now.
Okay.
How would you have a phone number? You want to use this phone over here though? Here, just use this one.
Yeah, just give me the number.
But anyway, what time we watching for your consideration?
In an hour. You
An
want
hour?
to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break. I'm gonna go make a pizza for the kiddo and the mama here, and we'll be back to watch the movie here in an
Okay,
hour.
we're doing that on the Discord, and then we'll
Yeah.
do a live stream at 7 p.m.
Yeah, no, I think the Discord thing worked pretty well actually. I thought it worked fine. Zoom worked fine too, but it is a lot more like kind of user friendly in terms of like.
Well, it has a chance of getting more people involved, so
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
take a slight loss in quality for that.
I couldn't tell. I mean, at least because I was one streaming it. I guess I don't know what it looked like on your end when you're watching.
It was fine. It was a little low quality just because I think it was from what is the site you use? Pet.
Plex. It's just my own personal. It's just my own.
I
Personal
think that was
search.
more of a PEX thing than anything else.
It's
Because
also
even the Barbie
also,
movie was doing that.
I was a little afraid of. I didn't also with the Discord thing. I didn't. There was options there. I could have upped the resolution, but I didn't want to make it harder for anyone else to stream it. So maybe I'll play with it next
Well,
time.
I think 720 is as high as it can go unless you pay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't try to change it, but I saw that you could. So, all right, yeah. Well, TCPS, if you're still there, man, like we're gonna head out. So
Okay, I'll actually be possibly streaming tonight. I was supposed to have a conversation with some guy that I met last night on David Patrick Harry's stream. He was in the chat. And he said he wanted to have a conversation. So if that's
On whose stream?
still on, which I don't know because unfortunately I didn't actually get this guy's email. But if that's still on, I'll be streaming at 8 p.m.
That's are you Eastern?
Sorry, yeah, 8 p.m.
So
Eastern.
that's like 5. That's the same time our stream starts.
I see.
Maybe we'll like stream a little bit of it here.
Well,
If you want to
again,
see.
this is all assuming that this even happens. Like, it
What
was like
stream was
most
this guy
totally,
on that
he
you
was
found?
he was in the chat during David Patrick Harry's stream from last
Oh.
night. And it was
Yeah, I'd
about
like
the
to
most
take a peek at
informal
that.
setup for a conversation ever. So that means that's very likely that it won't actually be happening.
Well, I have you on my channel, so if you do stream, it'll show me, and then we can
okay.
peek in on it.
All right. Yeah, no, honestly, that would be great.
And if not, we'll be here at 7. Well,
Okay.
8 your time.
Okay.
All right, man. Been
Okay.
good talking to everybody.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys
See y'all
as
later
well for
tonight.
having me. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Jennifer.
baby.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Wait.
Just bye.
Just bye, baby. Baby Woody. Okay, I'll see you on the Discord in about an hour. And if anyone else wants to show up and watch the movie, just contact me. Otherwise, we'll be back in about 3 hours. See you then.